What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Ace Poker here, and actually today I'll be reviewing 3 sessions that I played out in Choctaw, Oklahoma. I was there for the WPT series, and the cash action was insane. Some hands you guys are not even gonna believe, but without further ado, let's just let you guys see for yourself. Let's get into today's episode. Alright, welcome back everyone. You guys are going to love today's vlog because I have so many different components. First of all, we played 3 sessions that we are going to put into one vlog. This is great news for you guys because think about it, 3 sessions, I'm compacting all the hands into one vlog. This means this may be the most action-packed vlog that I've ever produced. You guys are going to love it. We are also playing PLO because the action was absolute insanity, and I just wanted to say the only reason I'm out here is because I covered the WPT out in Choctaw for Poker.org. If you guys could do me a favor, follow Poker.org, they support me, and you know, I'm a grinder, I get to play cash at night by myself. So without further ado, let's get into today's session, or should I say sessions? I've never had to say that before. Alright, get prepared for some of the craziest news that you've ever seen. As you see, I straddle here on the button, but they don't do it like everyone else does it. They do the ultimate last action straddle. What the hell does that mean? Okay, I was so confused, and let me explain it to you. So I straddle on the button, and the action goes regular. It doesn't start after me, nothing like that. Under the gun goes. Everyone goes. If there's a raise, if there's a 3-bet, it goes back to the initial raiser before it gets to me. I have the ultimate last action, as the name implies, but how crazy is that? There could be a 3-bet, a 4-bet, and then a cold call before it's on me, and I get to decide if then I want to 5-bet or call the 4-bet or fold. Absolute insanity, as you also have position throughout the entire hand. Just so overpowered, and let me know what you guys think of this. But in this hand, there's an open 260 and a call, and then it's back on me, and with this beautiful hand here, I could decide to re-raise it, but I decided to just make the call. We have a beautiful hand going 3 ways to a board. We have position, and we flop an open-ended straight draw. Pretty good. The first player checks, and now the initial raiser bets out for $210. Okay, we just sat down, we just got to this new place. He threw the bet out very fast, as you guys saw. I mean, what can he really have on this board? I think that we're getting a great price for if we hit one of our cards here, we could get it all in against maybe aces, top set, 2 pair, something of that nature. It'll just be very, very hidden. So I decide to flick in the call, and the other player makes the fold. So we're going to a turn, and we whiff it. And now the initial raiser decides to bet out for $320. I started the hand with about 1,100. I bought in for 1,000, was up a little bit. So I actually debated turning my hand into a bluff here and jamming over the top. But after a long think, I decided I don't want to gamble right away. I could definitely pick a better spot, and I decide to fold. But this next hand is insane. Talk about gambling, don't worry. I get into plenty of it in this hand as we look down at double suited aces. If you guys are not too familiar with Omaha, this is a pretty good hand. I'm sure you guys could know from just playing Hold'em, but anyways, I decide to pot this thing. I open it up to $65 and I get 2 callers, and boom, we flop the flush draw as well as a gutter. Not that that's too important, but basically just the nut flush draw. So I decide to continue here for, I believe, pot, which was $150, and now the next player decides to repot it for, I think, $400. Doesn't matter when it's back on me. I'm gonna put on my gambling hat, put on my big boy shoes, and go all in. He snap calls, so looks like we are going to need that diamond. I do think he's got a made hand, maybe he's got a set, a straight, but nonetheless, we are all in right away for about $900. This will determine our first session. This will set the tone for the entire trip. Can we get it? Let's head to the turn. Bing! Right away, we have the absolute nuts. There's no straight flush. Now I guess we're just fading a board pair, and it's clean. I show my hand right away, and he mucks. He never shows. Like I said, guess he had a set or a straight, but boom, $850, double up. Let's get it. We are up now about $800 on the session. Let's keep it running. Boom, look at those beautiful chips. What do you guys think of these? I kind of like them, especially when I got a lot of them. Alright, for this next hand, it's pretty funny. We look down at a beautiful hand, Queen 10, Queen 9, or Queen Queen 10 9, double suited. I don't know how you guys pronounce these Omaha hands. I'm a Hold'em player. Come on now. But I do decide to open this one up to pot, which was $50, and we only get one caller out of the cutoff. So we're going heads up to a board in which we flop nothing. So unfortunate when you have such a beautiful, pretty hand and don't get anything. It's basically equivalent to whiffing ace queen suited here. So I check and he checks it back. Okay, we've got some hope. We turn a diamond draw and now I bet out for $20. What am I doing? I have no idea. I should probably just check here. It definitely opens the possibility to getting checked raised, but anyways, he decides to flick in the call, going to a river in which we do not improve. So now we could check, but I do think that opens the door to just pot betting, bluffing. So I decided to put out just a little blocker bet here for $40. Those of you guys who are proficient in PLO might be like, what the heck are you doing, shaking your head? Trust me, I have no idea what this was trying to accomplish, but my opponent goes deep into the tank here, and I'm like, what is he thinking about? I mean, if he's got any type of two pair, he's gonna call. Maybe he's got literally bottom two pair, and he's like, is it even worth throwing in the $40? But he eventually does make the call, so I'm like, just one pair, queens, not expecting it to be good, and he mucks. When is the last time you've seen a value bet for one pair that's not aces in PLO? I'm shocked, and we take this one down. We get aces, take it down, we make some boats, take down some big pots, and then we decide to rack up on the night plus $1,160 in a short 4-hour session, but that is not anywhere near the end of our run. Let's head to tomorrow's session. By the way, I got to meet Wolfgang out here in Choctaw. Such a good dude. I interviewed him over on Poker.org, but let's fast forward to tomorrow's session. So for the first hand, I sit down, I buy in for 1,000 again. I look down at ace 10, 6-9 suited. I decide to call a pretty massive re-raise pre-flop to $125, and it is 4 ways. Okay, the action out here is crazy. I didn't even get to get my camera set up the right way, so sorry for this kind of crappy angle, but nonetheless, we flop a flush draw and an open-ended straight draw, and when the initial raiser continues here for pot $400, I feel like I'm pretty committed. I think he's gonna have maybe aces, kings, the nut flush draw a lot of the time. I mean, obviously the nut flush draw would be really bad, but I just think he's gonna continue with a lot of different things here. He could have flopped top set, and we just have so much equity against those hands. So I decide to move all in.
Are you all in?
Let me check. That's 575. Yeah, I guess it's all right now.
I just go one.
Yeah, one.
So one time we are all in here. I can't even process what's happening. The turn gives us nothing. It's a king, and I'm like, oh my goodness, am I going to miss the entire world? Up and down straight draw, a flush draw. I mean, who knows if our flush draw is even good, but come on, dealer, one time. Let's head to the river. Looking for some help on the river. We're all in at over $2,500 in the middle, and bink, we hit the 9 high flush, so I turn it over.
And a flush.
And my opponent mucks. We take it down the very first hand that we sit down. We are up
I think I had like 1,000 on the dot. Yeah.
about $1,500. What is going on? This is absolute insanity. And I guess let's just head to the next hand, huh? Then just 10 minutes later, we pick up 9-10-7-6 or 10-9-7-6, however you want to say it. Double suited, a really pretty hand. We call a raise to $25, and then another player 3-bets to $110. People down here are not scared to gamble and get in the mix. One caller, and I decide to fold this hand. I am a bitch, but let's just see what the flop is, and nice, 9-7-7. So yeah, we would have won this hand. Okay, looking back, hate that I folded this one, but on to the next one. For the next hand, we are on that button straddle, and we look down at King, Queen, Jack 4 double suited. Another really, really pretty hand. That is definitely going to be the theme of these couple sessions, is just playing really, really pretty hands. Because like I said, I played 3 sessions, so I'm just recapping all the best hands. There's a raise to 45, and it's back to me, and I decide to flick in the call, but dummy, I am last action. I keep forgetting, and I'm like, oh crap, and the guy to my left's like, nah, don't worry, I was just calling. So he calls, and we're going 3 ways to a board in which we flop top 2 pair. Beautiful, checks to me, so obviously I am potting that thing. I bet $140 and both players fold, but the real point of this hand, I wanted to show these cool $5 chips that they had. It's basically in Texas, it's right on the border, so they have these cool Texas Ranger $5 chips. I took one home, super cool. I've never seen any casino do a sports themed chip. I really liked it, and what do you guys think about this one? So the stack is looking beautiful. Like I said, we're up about $1,500 just kind of floating. We get into a couple pots, and then we pick up double suited aces once again. Can we get the nut flush again like we did in yesterday's session? Can we build this win to up over $2,000? We're in the small blind, there's a raise, it gets to me, I decide to pot it to $130, and we pick up not 1, not 2, but 3 callers. Like I said, the poker down here is pretty crazy. People are not afraid to get into the mix, so we're gonna need to hit an ace, the nut flush draw, something pretty crazy, and no. Nothing comes, so I check, and the flop actually checks around, so we're gonna look for a free turn, and once again, nothing. These hands are pretty hard to play because in Hold'em, if you have aces, pretty much no matter what the board is, you can c-bet and navigate. I mean, still aces in Hold'em 4 ways are pretty dicey, but here, aces 4 ways, you basically need to hit an ace or the nut flush draw. So I check this turn, and one of the other players pots it. We decide to fold, and that is the last hand that we get into. And now on the second day, we book an $1,100 win. So back-to-back $1,100 wins. Let's see what tomorrow holds. All right, back at it in the PLO streets. Day 3, can we book another huge win? Starting off with a beautiful hand, pocket aces once again, but this time it's not double suited, but I guess we'll just have to settle with single suited. There's an open to 20 and a plethora of callers before I decide to pot it to $125, and the initial raiser is more than eager to put his entire stack in the middle, so it looks like he's gonna have aces as well. I mean, I'm praying that he has kings, but get a load of this. It folds all the way to the player to my right, who's like, oh, I really want to call. Oh, I think you guys both have aces, blah, blah, blah. Now, he doesn't have a short stack. He has about $650 to $700 in his stack, so I'm not really sure if I really want him to push, because if the player to my left has aces and then he has something like, who knows, like 6, 7, 8, 9 double suited, king, jack 10 double suited, like he's got a lot of outs and a lot of equity to crack our aces. I actually think he statistically may be ahead or just very close to us if 2 people have aces. I'm not sure on the Omaha percentages, but nonetheless, he does end up folding, so I obviously snap call, and when the other player shows his hand, oh my goodness, we are slightly free rolling because he has pocket aces also with 1 suit, but he has ace, 8 deuce, so the other 2 cards he have are just complete trash. We could hit some straights with our queen 10, we could hit some 2 pairs. Let's see, we're going to 2 runouts, and to add to the weirdness here, if you want to run it twice, the flop stays the same. You can only run the turn and the river twice. Okay, but that's great news for us because on the flop there's a queen. We now have 4 chances, the top board and the second board, to hit a 10 to quarter him. Maybe we could hit a 10 on both boards and scoop the entire thing. The first run out, no, we're gonna need some help on the second run out, and no, all that dramatics just for a straight chop. Ugh. I then play 9-8, 3-4, 9-8, 4-3. I can't get used to this, but double suited, pretty good, and we wind up turning the nut straight. And even better, there's a bet to 20 and a call, so you know I am potting it. I make it $200. I forget what it was pre-flop, but nonetheless, they both fold, and now this leads all up to the craziest hand of the entire 3 days, the craziest PLO hand I may have ever played. Strap in because this thing is insane. We look down at, I guess in my eyes, a really good hand, ace king 8-9, single suited. Double suited would obviously be way much better, but single suited it is. It folds to me. I decide to open it up to $30 in the cutoff. The small blind calls, and now the big blind decides to re-raise to $110. I don't think that was the pot, which was a little interesting, but the small blind calls and the button decides to fold. After all this action, he must have had a pretty bad hand, but nonetheless, we're going 3 ways to a board here, and we see quite the interesting flop. We flop an ace as well as the ace high flush draw, so pretty good flop. I mean, obviously, he still could have pocket aces, but like I said, I don't think he quite potted it pre-flop, which was a little interesting. Now the small blind checks, and the initial raiser continues here for $200. Okay, very weird spot, because like I said, he definitely could have pocket aces, and we are absolutely smashed. But, I mean, if he just has just 2 pair with the ace, somehow we have the world. We might actually be ahead if he flopped 2 pair. Nonetheless, I think for quite a long time and decide to just flick in the call, and the small blind folds, so we're going to a turn which is very dicey. It's a king. So now we have top 2 pair. I mean, Jack 10 makes a straight. That was a gutter. He could have something like ace 5, Jack 10 double suited. Who knows, but nonetheless, he grabs a fat stack of blacks and just tosses it in the middle. The pot size bet being around $700. That's basically all I had left in my stack. So now I had to make the tough decision. Do I want to call here, or do I make one of the nittiest folds of my entire life? F that, baby. We are here to gamble. I stick all my chips in the middle, unsure if I'm good or going to need some help. This pot right here will make or break my entire trip. As you've seen, the last 2 nights have been a success, but if I lose this hand, I'll have lost $1,000, and over these 3 days, I'll have only made $1,000, while on the flip side, if I win this hand, I will win $1,000 today, and I'll be up nearly $4,000 in my 3-day trip here. So yeah, this is a massive pot, basically a $3,000 swing right here, right now. So we're going to the river one time. Dealer, please. And oh my goodness, we drill the nut flush. I gather my cards right away. I'm fumbling them in my hand, and he mucks. Let's go. Oh my goodness. We've gotten extremely lucky these past 3 days, getting it in with draws and getting there every single time. This place is amazing. The action was crazy, and we've been hitting all of our draws. Just the absolute, just perfect combination of what to do and how to win money playing poker. Look at all these chips. I am loving this place, and unfortunately, that's the last hand that we got into, but do not worry. We booked a $1,600 win on our last day here. That brings our running total to, drum roll please, just about $3,960 in our 3 sessions, about 12 hours of play here. You can't ask for anything better. I mean, technically you can, but pretty good. Super happy. This casino was one of the nicest I've ever been to. I highly suggest you guys check it out. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out. Have a great day.